Evolve gives you access to any parameter of any object at any time. So let's take a look at this model and we'll start to build some geometry to take a look at how these features work. So the first tool I'm going to use is the make manifold, just to go ahead and intersect and automatically trim all of these surfaces back to one solid object. And then the second thing I may want to do is add some details. So I have a couple spheres that I'll go ahead and turn on or unhide. And I'm going to use those to subtract these shapes from the base object. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Boolean subtraction. So I'll subtract from the main base the two spheres, and I'll add a round and now I'm going to go ahead and decide that I really maybe don't want this round at the bottom. So to edit any of the parameters, simply press the space bar or click on the icon at the top left. And now you'll see that the parameters are highlighted and selected in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this bottom radius, and I'm going to delete it by pushing delete on my keyboard. And in the modeling tool panel, I'm going to select go, which will now update the geometry. So now I've decided I really want to just apply a shell to this object. So I'm going to click on the shell tool, pick which faces I want to shell from. So in this case, just the bottom. And then select the thickness that you want to use. So I'm going to use 0.2 to get started and see what that looks like. Now I can go back to any part of the model and choose any of the parameters that were used to update this model. So if I go back all the way back to the original curves, now that I see the model generated, maybe I want to change the shape a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to do this in all four views. So I have the curve selected. Again, I'm going to press the space bar, and I can go into parameters to either update the entire radius, because this was started with a circle, or I can go into point edit mode and play with the points. I'm going to select on the model again, and I'm going to take a look at the round tool. Go back into edit parameters mode. And here are all the different parameters that are shown in the cyan blue color. So I can change the position or the size. I can add or subtract parameters as I need. So let's try, instead of 1 on this particular radius, I'm going to select 0.7. Click on go. And that will update the geometry. Or maybe I want to change these details or these features of the model here. So again, if you select on the model, in the modeling construction history, you can go back to any one of the objects that you want to interact with. So I've got this sphere or this sphere. I can pick whichever one I want. And it will bring up the parameters in the modeling tool panel. So right now the radius is set as globally as a 3. So I'm going to change that to 2.7. And by changing its parameter, the resulting model will automatically be updated through the construction history. Now maybe I've decided, once I see how this is shaping up, maybe the material thickness is a little bit too thick in this case. So I'll just select on the shell tool and change this, instead of 0.2 to 0.1. So I think you'll find, with all the flexibility and all the access to the object's parameters, it'll make achieving your designs much easier.